Best Jordan Peterson quotes. When you have something to say, silence is a lie. If you fulfill your obligations every day, you don't need to worry about the future. I don't think that you have any insight whatsoever into your capacity for good until you have some well-developed insight into your capacity for evil. It took untold generations to get you where you are. A little gratitude might be in order. You're going to pay a price for every bloody thing you do and everything you don't do. If you can't understand why someone is doing something, look at the consequences of their actions, whatever they might be, and then infer the motivations from there. You're always looking for new information in the off chance that somebody who doesn't agree with you will tell you something you couldn't have figured out on your own. It's a completely different way of looking at the world. It's the antithesis of opinionated. If you don't say what you think, then you kill your unborn self. To stand up straight with your shoulders back is to accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. Humility is recognition of personal insufficiency and the willingness to learn. Women select men. That makes them nature, because nature is what selects. If you think tough men are dangerous, wait until you see what weak men are capable of. If you're going to insist on bending the world your way, you better have your reasons. The woman is the gatekeeper to reproductive success, and you can't get more like nature than that. In fact, it's the very definition of nature. Love is the desire to see unnecessary suffering ameliorated. To learn is to die voluntarily and be born again, in great ways and small. You can only find out what you actually believe, rather than what you think you believe, by watching how you act. You simply don't know what you believe before that. You are too complex to understand yourself. Truth is the handmaiden of love. Intolerance of others' views, no matter how ignorant or incoherent they may be, is not simply wrong. In a world where there is no right or wrong, it is worse. It is a sign you are embarrassingly unsophisticated or possibly dangerous. Don't underestimate the power of vision and direction. These are irresistible forces, able to transform what might appear to be unconquerable obstacles into traversable pathways and expanding opportunities. Choose your destination and articulate your being. So, attend carefully to your posture. Quit drooping and hunching around. Speak your mind. Put your desires forward, as if you had a right to them, at least the same right as others. Walk tall and gaze forthrightly ahead. Dare to be dangerous. Encourage the serotonin to flow plentifully through the neural pathways desperate for its calming influence. Our choices determine the destiny of the world. By making a choice, you alter the structure of reality. Random wandering will not move you forward. It will instead disappoint and frustrate you, and make you anxious and unhappy, and hard to get along with, and then resentful, and then vengeful, and then worse. The purpose of life, as far as I can tell, is to find a mode of being that's so meaningful that the fact that life is suffering is no longer relevant. You must determine where you are going in your life, because you cannot get there unless you move in that direction. The better ambitions have to do with the development of character and ability, rather than status and power. The successful among us delay gratification. The successful among us bargain with the future. Consciousness is a mystery that faces the mystery of potential and transforms it into actuality. We do that with every choice we make. We believe that in reducing the scope and importance of our errors, we are properly humble. In truth, we are merely unwilling to bear the weight of our true responsibility. What you aim at determines what you see. The secret to your existence is right in front of you. It manifests itself as all those things you know you should do, but are avoiding. We must each adopt as much responsibility as possible for individual life, society and the world. You should never give up the better that resides within for the security you already have, and certainly not when you have already caught a glimpse, an undeniable glimpse, of something beyond. You must determine where you are going, so that you can bargain for yourself, so that you don't end up resentful, vengeful, and cruel. It would be good to make the world a better place. Do you want to make your children safe or strong? Dreams shed light on the dim places where reason itself has yet to voyage. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy, it's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful. To straddle that fundamental duality is to be balanced, to have one foot firmly planted in order and security, and the other in chaos, possibility, growth, and adventure. Aim to be the person at your father's funeral that everyone, in their grief and misery, can rely on. There's a worthy and noble ambition, strength in the face of adversity. Ask yourself what you would require to be motivated to undertake the job, honestly, and listen to the answer. We transform the manifold possibilities of the future into the actualities of past and present. If you surround yourself with people who support your upward aim, they will not tolerate your cynicism and destructiveness. They will instead encourage you when you do good for yourself and others and punish you carefully when you do not. You might be winning, but you're not growing, and growing might be the most important form of winning. Should victory in the present always take precedence over trajectory across time? When you dare aspire upward, you reveal the inadequacy of the present and the promise of the future. Then you disturb others, in the depths of their souls, where they understand that their cynicism and immobility are unjustifiable. A naively formulated goal transmutes, with time, into the sinister form of life, lie. We cannot navigate, without something to aim at, and while we are in this world, we must always navigate. Strengthen the individual. Start with yourself. Take care of yourself. Define who you are. Refine your personality.